Tough, terrible casting situation. So I roll this downstream. First thing I do at the end of the cast is I look up and make sure I've got enough room to make that roll without dragging the rod tip through the trees. So I got that room, that's good. I can't go out this way though, so I gotta roll. Now instead of making that setup nice and high and then tucking the rod underneath, because I didn't have that room, so you gotta be a little more forceful with the rod, right? Snap. And then walk it over here and take a look. Whoop. Okay, got a little bit more. Well, that's pretty good. A little bit more. So you can make good casts in tight situations, but sometimes the rules don't apply. If it gets worse than this and the trees are right on the riverbank's edge, there's lots of cool stuff you can do. So, if I'm in a really tight situation and wading deep close to the water, all those things that generally make it tougher to cast, there's a couple ways to do it. One is to make my setup, I can take the rod tip back towards the bank as much as the obstruction will let me, and then roll it out towards the opposite bank and snap it underneath, so my anchor's going to be way out in front of me. Try it. Now I get a shallower D-loop, but I can get out there and make a decent cast, bend it, and fish in tough situations. So just kind of be tricky, use it. Try anchor out in front of you. Try keeping the rod lower. I might have to keep the rod lower, so instead of being up here on that martini glass, the imaginary martini glass I was talking about, I might just have to, so I don't know, let's say the tip speed's going 30 miles an hour. I don't know how fast it is exactly, but if I'm just moving the rod in the sweep to make a little white mouse with a line, that's going to form a nice D-loop, okay? So watch that line peel, little white mouse. It was nice and level, but I don't have that luxury. Can't get my rod up off the water. I'm going to put it in the trees, so it might be this. Rod's a little bit lower, a little bit faster, and before the D-loop really forms. I didn't get you today. Yeah, so sometimes you just got to use this thing as a weapon and make the cast happen. And that, you can get into some great steelhead spot, and I think that's one thing that's really cool about Spey rods, whether they're 11.5 feet long or 12.5 feet long or 14 feet long. They're awesome because you can do these super tight spot casts where the best single-hand caster in the world is going to have a hard time with 13 feet of blackberries behind them right at the river's edge. Pretty neat stuff. So something to think about.
Would you do the same thing